Hello students, welcome to Science Surfers. Today we are going to take up the topic biogeochemical cycle. What do you mean by biogeochemical cycle? Biogeochemical cycles are the transfer of matter and energy between biotic and abiotic component of the biosphere. देखो बच्चे, we all know that biosphere has two major components, biotic and abiotic, right? And these two components they interact together. अब इन interactions में होता क्या है? There is the transfer of matter and energy takes place in these two components of the biosphere. All organisms require certain nutrients to maintain their life, like carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, etc. And all these nutrients they get from the lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere. हम सबको पता है लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म को अपनी सर्वाइवल के लिए कुछ न्यूट्रिएंट्स की ज़रूरत है एंड ऑल दे ऑब्टेन्ड फ्रॉम lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere. The nutrients that are derived from the earth by living organisms for their growth and metabolism are called biogeochemicals. जो भी nutrients लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म की ग्रोथ और मेटाबॉलिज्म में उनको अर्थ से मिलते हैं, दे गेट ऑल द एलिमेंट्स और द न्यूट्रिएंट्स which all the living organism get from the earth are known as biogeochemicals, and all these chemicals are continuously recycled between living and non-living component of the environment, which constitute the biogeochemical cycle. मीन्स एक लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म को अपनी लाइफ मेंटेन करने के लिए अर्थ से कुछ न्यूट्रिएंट्स अवेलेबल हैं, ओके, एंड दीज न्यूट्रिएंट्स आर गेटिंग सर्कुलेटेड और रिसाइकल्ड इन द एनवायरनमेंट. सो मूवमेंट ऑफ दीज न्यूट्रिएंट्स between living and non-living component of the environment makes the biogeochemical cycles. So mainly 4 biogeochemicals are there. One is water cycle, nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle and oxygen cycle. We'll study them one by one. When water bodies are heated during the day, a large amount of water evaporates and rises up. Some water vapor also get into the atmosphere due to biological activities like transpiration and respiration. Large amount of water vapors are added into the air by basically 3 processes. The one is evaporation of water from the water bodies, second respiration by animals, and transpiration, that is loss of water vapor from the plants. ये तीनों processes, transpiration, respiration and evaporations, add a lot of water vapor into the air. इनसे बहुत ज़्यादा वाटर वेपर एयर में एंटर होता है, right? And these water vapors are lighter. They rises up in the upper layers of the atmosphere. They get condensed. उनका कंडेंसेशन होता है and they turn into tiny droplets of water appear as clouds. और वो जब छोटी छोटी ड्रॉपलेट्स में कन्वर्ट होंगे और उन्हीं से बनते हैं क्लाउड्स. Some tiny droplets of water they join together to form bigger droplets. और जब ये फर्दर कूलिंग होती है तो ये स्मॉल जो ड्रॉपलेट्स ऑफ वाटर हैं दे बिकम बिगर इन साइज एंड दे कैन नॉट स्टे इन द एटमोस्फियर एंड फॉल डाउन एज रेन. ऑन फर्दर कूलिंग द प्रेसिपिटेशन मे अकर इन द फॉर्म ऑफ स्नो, हेल एट्सेट्रा. जब टेम्परेचर और लो होता है तो यही ड्रॉपलेट्स ऑफ वाटर दे गेट कंडेंस्ड एंड precipitate in the form of snow or hail. वो snow और hail की फॉर्म में वापस अर्थ पे वाटर आएगा. Now what happens to the water that is coming down to the earth? अब जो अर्थ पर वाटर वापस आया है उसके साथ क्या होगा? See, it has 2 options. Some part of the water will flow over the ground and again becomes the part of the surface water. That is, it is going to the oceans, rivers, lakes, etc. And some part of that water will percolate into deeper layers of the earth and become parts of the अंडरग्राउंड वाटर. देखो, जो वाटर अर्थ पर आया है रेन की हेल्प से, स्नो की हेल्प से, तो उसके दो ऑप्शंस हैं. सम पार्ट विल गो इनटू द अंडरग्राउंड वाटर, वो सॉइल के थ्रू परकोलेट करके अंडरग्राउंड वाटर बनेगा, और कुछ पोर्शन उसका वापस सरफेस पे फ्लो करके वाटर बॉडीज में एंटर हो जाएगा जहाँ से वो इवेपोरेट हुआ था. So this is how water is getting circulated between living and non-living component of the environment. Approximately 78% of nitrogen is present in the air, but plants cannot obtain this nitrogen from air directly. हमारे एनवायरनमेंट में अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 75% नाइट्रोजन अवेलेबल है, बट प्लांट्स में कोई ऐसा मैकेनिज्म नहीं विच हेल्प देम टू ऑब्टेन दिस नाइट्रोजन फ्रॉम द एयर. सो द वेरी फर्स्ट थिंग, दिस नाइट्रोजन फ्रॉम द एयर gets converted into useful compounds by some bacteria present in the root nodules of the leguminous plants, and second process is through lightning. It converts into the compounds of nitrogen called nitrate and nitrites. So this process is known as nitrogen fixation, means conversion of nitrogen into nitrates. These nitrogen compounds are taken by plants and used to make proteins. When animals eat these plants, they also get these proteins. When plants and animal dies, bacteria convert the protein into nitrogen compound, nitrate and nitrites. So other bacteria, they convert nitrogen compound back into the nitrogen. What happens here? That air से nitrogen नाइट्रेट और नाइट्राइट में कन्वर्ट हो गई सॉइल में, फ्रॉम वेयर इट इज अब्सॉर्ब्ड बाय प्लांट्स. प्लांट्स यूज दीज नाइट्रेट एंड नाइट्राइट्स फॉर formation of proteins in their body, and those protein passes from plants to animals. This process is known as assimilation. The waste materials generated by plants and animals and their dead bodies are decomposed by some bacteria and get converted into nitrate and nitrite. बैक्टीरिया जो प्रेजेंट है वो इन डेड प्लांट्स और एनिमल्स की बॉडी को नाइट्रेट और नाइट्राइट में कन्वर्ट करते हैं. देन डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ बैक्टीरिया विच कन्वर्ट दीज नाइट्रेट एंड नाइट्राइट बैक इनटू नाइट्रोजन. तो क्या हुआ, नाइट्रोजन एयर से आई थी, सॉइल से प्लांट्स और एनिमल्स की बॉडी में हुआ सर्कुलेट, and from there again it goes to the soil and back to the environment. So nitrogen is a very important component of biological molecules like proteins, nucleic acid, DNA, RNA and some vitamins. The 5 basic steps in the nitrogen cycle are nitrogen fixation. That means conversion of atmospheric nitrogen into nitrate and nitrites. Second, assimilation means the use of nitrate and nitrites in the formation of proteins by plants. Those get transferred to the animals. That process is known as assimilation. And the dead plants and animals release waste material which get decomposed to form ammonia. This process is known as ammonification, and it is also performed by some special category of bacteria. Then this ammonia get converted. Some bacteria convert these dead parts of plants, animals and their waste into ammonia. From proteins to ammonia, is conversion of proteins to ammonia is known as ammonification. And some special kind of bacteria convert this ammonia into nitrate and nitrite. That process is known as nitrification. And lastly, the nitrate or nitrite gets converted into atmospheric nitrogen, again with the help of some bacteria, and this process is known as denitrification. So first the nitrogen changes to nitrate or nitrite, then to proteins, then to ammonia, then to nitrate and nitrite, and again back to nitrogen, which enters the atmosphere. So thus nitrogen is getting circulated between living and non-living components of the atmosphere in the form of nitrogen cycle. Next we have the carbon cycle. So carbon cycle also starts with the atmosphere in the form of carbon dioxide, which is used by plants to prepare glucose by the process of photosynthesis. हमारी कार्बन साइकिल भी एटमॉस्फेयर से ही स्टार्ट हो रही है in the form of a gas carbon dioxide, which is utilized by plants to prepare food by the process of photosynthesis. And the net product is glucose containing carbon. This glucose is used by animals to get energy. और वहीं से प्लांट से अब वो कार्बन इन द फॉर्म ऑफ ग्लूकोज enters into the body of animals by food. So animals undergo a process of respiration. They release energy and break this glucose into carbon dioxide and water. So respiration process में यही glucose convert होगा carbon dioxide और water में. So this carbon dioxide goes back into the environment. The other process which adds carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere is the combustion of fossil fuels like coal and petroleum. The organic compounds in plants and animals, they are also converted into carbonates, limestone, coal, petroleum, exoskeleton of some animals, shells in the sea organism, etc. So हमारा second process जो carbon dioxide को circulate करता है, and that starts with the burning of fossil fuels like coal and petroleum, which are rich in carbon. Carbon is the essential component of the molecules present inside the body like carbohydrate, fats, proteins, vitamin, nucleic acid, etc. So carbon is one of the important nutrient required by all living organism. This is how we can explain the carbon cycle diagrammatically. Carbon in the form of carbon dioxide is absorbed by plants to prepare their food by the process of photosynthesis and fixed in the form of glucose. Then this carbon in the form of glucose is utilized by animals as food, and animals by the process of respiration add this carbon dioxide back to the atmosphere. Secondly, some of the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere gets converted into carbonates in water, limestone, etc. Dead parts of plants and animals get converted into coal and petroleum as fossil fuels. And when they burn, they undergo combustion, they add a lot of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So decomposition of plants and animal body also release large amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. तो कार्बन को एटमॉस्फेयर में सर्कुलेट करने के जो प्रोसेसेस हैं, पहला फोटोसिंथेसिस which is the conversion of carbon dioxide into glucose. Second is that carbon in the form of glucose is utilized by animals in the process of respiration and release carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. The third one is the burning of fossil fuels, which release a large amount of carbon dioxide. We all know that oxygen is a life supporting gas. It helps in the process of respiration. The atmospheric oxygen is used for respiration by living organisms like plants and animals. It is also used in the process of combustion and formation of oxides. So ऑक्सीजन एटमॉस्फेयर से अर्थ पर यूज होने के 3 बेसिक प्रोसेसेस हैं. एक रेस्पिरेशन, सेकेंड कंबस्शन और बर्निंग ऑफ सब्सटेंसेस, और थर्ड है हमारा formation of oxides of certain elements which combine with oxygen and form their oxides. Oxygen is going back into the environment only through one process. एटमॉस्फेयर से यूज होने के 3 प्रोसेसेस हैं, बट उसके वापस एनवायरनमेंट में जाने का एक ही बेसिक प्रोसेस है, एंड दैट इज फोटोसिंथेसिस. Like carbon, oxygen is also an essential component of biomolecules like carbohydrate, fats, proteins, etc. So this is how oxygen from the environment is used in the process of respiration, and carbon dioxide and water vapors are released, which are utilized by plants in the process of photosynthesis to generate organic molecule like glucose and release oxygen gas in the environment. So thus the oxygen is getting circulated between plants, animals and the environment. So very important phenomena occurring in the biosphere or the environment are greenhouse effect and ozone depletion. What happens here? That some of the gases present in the atmosphere like methane, water vapor or carbon dioxide, they trap the heat rays which are reflected back by the earth surface. अर्थ से जो हीट रेज वापस रिफ्लेक्ट होके जाती हैं, वो ये एटमॉस्फेयर में कुछ गैसेस ऐसी प्रेजेंट हैं लाइक कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, मीथेन एटसेट्रा, विच ट्रैप दोज हीट रेज. ये उन हीट रेज को ट्रैप कर लेंगे एंड help to increase the temperature of the atmosphere. So this is known as greenhouse effect. Greenhouse effect is increasing the average temperature of the earth and cause the melting of polar ice, increase in the sea level, flooding of coastal areas and submerging of islands. अर्थ के कंटिन्यूसली टेम्परेचर इंक्रीज होने से हमारी जो पोलर आइस है दैट स्टार्ट मेल्टिंग, और वो सारा उसका मेल्टेड वाटर गोज टू द सीज, ओशंस, दैट रेजेस द लेवल ऑफ द सी एंड ओशन एंड कॉज फ्लडिंग ऑफ द कोस्टल एरियाज एंड सबमर्जिंग ऑफ आइलैंड्स. नियर बाय एरिया उसमें सबमर्ज हो जाएंगे. अनदर फॉर्म ऑफ ऑक्सीजन दैट इज O3 known as ozone is also present in the upper layer of the atmosphere, and that layer is known as stratosphere. It is a deadly poisonous gas if it is present in the lower atmosphere, but in the upper atmosphere it is performing a very important function. It protects the earth from the harmful ultraviolet radiations from the sun, which is very harmful from the living organism. If these ultraviolet rays are able to reach the earth's surface, they may cause skin diseases, skin cancer, eye problems, eye cataract, reproductive failures, poor immunity, etc. They also affect the growth of the plants. Human activities are also damaging this ozone layer because of the use of the CFCs, or we call them as chlorofluorocarbons, which are used as coolants and refrigerants. These chlorofluorocarbons, they go in the upper atmosphere, combine with the ozone and decompose this ozone layer and cause its depletion, which is causing the thinning of the ozone layer.